What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over all the changes in Fortnite's newest update that you need to know about. This is going to be the first major update of Season 3. We actually got some really good changes, and I think this is a really good update overall. If you guys do enjoy this video, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more. Comment down below which change of this update is your favorite. I feel for many of you, it's probably going to be Darth Vader. And also, if you would like to use me for a support a creator, my code is EvolveJake. It's underneath webcam at all times. Use that code in the item shop. It's a way to support the channel while buying things that you were already going to buy anyways. And there's going to be a lot of good summer skins coming to the shop soon. So make sure you use code EvolveJake. Much appreciated. So the first major change in this update is going to be Darth Vader coming to the island. And this is not really a surprise to anybody. We knew this was going to be happening. He's on like the bottom left of the map where the mushroom biome borders the desert. And he has stormtroopers with E11s as well. So if you kill Darth Vader, you'll get his mythic lightsaber. This mythic lightsaber is actually much better than the other lightsabers because you can throw it and it'll act as like a boomerang. So you can throw it at an opponent, it'll hit them and then come back to you. And that's incredibly effective because the downside of the lightsabers has always been that like it's only close range. But now you have a ranged attack with the Darth Vader's lightsaber as well. And then also we did get the E11s unvaulted from the stormtroopers that you can find in that area. The next change is actually what I'm most excited for in this update, and that is going to be that Logjam has been completely updated, and it changes theme based on the match you're in. So you could go to Logjam in 4 different games, and it could be a different theme each game. The themes are Atlantis, Pirates, Roman Coliseum, and Wild West, and this is basically themed about past Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 POIs. Atlantis is like Coral Castle. The pirate theme is like Lazy Lagoon. The Roman Coliseum is from the Coliseum POI in Chapter 2. And then Wild West kind of resembles Tilted Town without the Rift Zone effect. So I think this is really cool. Map changes are always what I'm most excited to see when it comes to Fortnite updates. And having a POI change game to game is incredibly cool. I think the layout of it will be the same, but just like the textures of the area and like what the area looks like will change every single game that you're in. And this ties into the storyline because part of the reality tree area spreading is that it's spreading the past realities or the past versions of the map throughout the Chapter 3 map. So it'll be really interesting to see how this changes the rest of the map because we already have Logjam changed because it had a route pop up in it a while ago. There's also a route at Rocky Reels, and I think the reality biome is going to spread across the entire map throughout the course of this season. So we should be getting like a decent amount of map changes over the course of the season, and that is very exciting for someone like me who that's like the biggest thing that I care about. And mid-season map changes are always like one of my favorite things. It's nice when we get map changes at the start of the season for sure, but when a season drops and you get 2 new POIs and that's it for like 3 months, it's not as exciting. So getting some map changes during the course of this season will definitely help it stay fresh. And the fact that the biome kind of changes, I guess, for the POI game to game is also really, really cool. The next thing they added in this update is going to be the Ripsaw launcher. This was shown in the trailer initially, but it's basically an item that shoots saw blades at people. You can find this in the factory north of Logjam, and I think that's the only place you can find it right now. It could end up coming to the loot pool later on. That's what they did with the grapple glove. I kind of feel like they've been adding new items and putting them like in limited spots so they can kind of see how the item performs and how it does. And then if it needs to get buffed or nerfed, they can do so before bringing it into the overall loot pool and putting it everywhere. That's just at least my guess on why they do that. But you can find this in the factory north of Logjam. It shoots saw blades that roll on the ground, and they do travel kind of fast, but they do have to travel to the opponent. And they do 25 damage to builds, but like I'm pretty sure they'll do way more than that to the build because it like gets stuck in it and tries to like go through it. It'll do 60 damage to players, which sounds insane, but obviously it has the negative effect of actually having to travel to the opponent so they can like dodge it or build or whatever. And then it does 100 damage to vehicles. And it has 3 saw blades per reload, and it does reload really fast. This item I do not think is that good. I could see it maybe being useful in 0 build, but I think in build mode it really won't get much use at all. And I feel like it's just kind of more of like a gimmicky, like fun, like cheesy item. I don't expect this to be the meta. And yeah, I think it'll be more of a gimmicky item. Could be useful in 0 build squads just to try to kind of like create some chaos in a fight. But as far as like solos or duos, I really don't see this weapon being that helpful. More of like a gimmicky, like interesting, like, holy crap, this weapon is shooting saw blades type item, you know? I don't think it's kind of meant to be a top tier item. The next thing they added is the firework launcher. This is just a reskin of the flare gun, but it shoots fireworks, obviously, because of the summer theme. But you just shoot it. It pings people, so you could shoot it into the sky, and, like, people nearby or people that it, like, traveled over will be pinged for you. And then it also can light things on fire, which is pretty interesting. This gun is really annoying to deal with. I don't know if it'll spawn as much of it as it did in Chapter 2, but I remember being very irritated with this at the end of Chapter 2 because it seemed like everybody who landed on like a POI with me just started lighting everything on fire off the rip. Like if anybody gets this item off spawn, they just start shooting it at every other building in the POI and lighting it on fire. So it's really annoying to deal with, but we'll see how it goes. It is nice for pinging people, and I think that could be really helpful in the zero build mode because it's a mode where if you get caught off guard, you're probably going to die. You don't have much to like be able to react to that like you can in the build mode where you could just build and protect yourself. So I think it could be helpful for that point. And then the next change in this update is actually huge. This is a big deal, and it's really going to affect the way the game plays. And that is going to be that they nerfed the reality saplings and reduced how many, like, I'm just going to call it fruit, the little pods that spawn the loot. They reduced how much fruit spawns on each plant. So green and blue didn't change at all. They still spawn 3. Purple will now spawn 2 fruit instead of 3, and then the legendary will now spawn 1 instead of 3. So the legendary plant got hit hard. The purple plant got hit, but not that hard. But yeah, it's definitely going to make landing just on your plant in the wilderness way less effective. This is a change that I'm sure many of you are going to be unhappy to see. I know a lot of people really liked the reality saplings. But personally, I am happy with this. I thought the reality saplings were kind of busted, and just somebody landing in the most random spot, getting 3 gold items, and then third-partying you from a direction that they shouldn't be coming from because they shouldn't have gotten loot from where they went, I thought was really cheesy, and it made the game really random, and it made the flow of the game really just unpredictable and random. But this nerf, I think, will have like a decent effect on the game. If somebody wants to land in the wilderness and they have like a blue plant, they'll get 3 items. That's okay. But they're not just going to be spawning with 3 gold items anymore. I thought it was really broken and overpowered, and really bizarrely how people reacted to it. I feel like a lot of people just, like, I don't know, lesser skilled players or like players that struggle or don't find much success in the game, like as long as it helps them, they're okay with it. Like I saw people defending this and saying it's not overpowered because everybody can do it, and I just completely disagree with that. Like the battle bus last season, everybody could land on the battle bus if they wanted to, you know what I mean? They had set spawns. Does that make it not annoying and not overpowered? Like, no, the battle bus was really annoying. Same with the tank, same with the drum shotty. Everyone has potential to use the drum shotty. Did that make it fair and balanced and good for the game? Like, no, it was bad for the game, and it's good that it's gone. And I think the plants are the same way. Anybody could play off them. It took 0 skill to do, but it being nerfed is good for the game, I think. It still will have an effect on the game. Being able to get a guaranteed gold item or that guaranteed shield will still be valuable. And if you have a purple plant, 2 purple items is fine. And even blue. There's oftentimes I don't get a blue shotgun off spawn, and being able to find a blue plant is actually really beneficial to me. But I think the plants were way too overpowered at the start of the season, so I think this nerf is good. And then the final change that we're going to talk about in this update is going to be that they nerfed visual audio. So if you guys don't know, visual audio is a setting that you can turn on, and it puts little indicators on your screen of where like players are coming from, or shots or chests or whatever, you know. They nerfed the range on it, so it's not going to show you where people are from as far as it did before. So I think this is a good change. The visual audio is another thing that I thought was mad cheesy. I think that using sound to your advantage and actually understanding where players are based on sound is a skill, and people who have like practiced that and done that for a long time and are good at using sound to their advantage kind of just had that skill like stripped away from them. Not really stripped away from them, but they just buffed everybody's awareness with visual audio, and you didn't really have to understand how to use sound at all. So I'm happy they nerfed this. It's still going to be useful, and it's still probably going to be the best solution for a lot of players, but it's not going to be as cheesy or as overpowered as it was before. And I think that is a good change, and I'm happy that Epic actually changed that, because visual audio is something that was like really overpowered, but you didn't really see that many people complain about it. Like most people were just kind of okay with it. And I feel like the plants are kind of the same way too. Some people definitely did complain about the plants, but I feel like overall people were just content with it being overpowered because it helped them. So it's kind of nice to see Epic change those things and actually make the game better. One final thing they did add in this update that I'm not going to talk about too much is they added an LFG feature where you can find teammates to play with. In the social tab, you can set a few different like indicators for yourself, like what you're trying to do, like challenges, going for wins, high kills, whatever. You can do things like that and then try to find people to play with in game. This could be helpful, but I don't really see myself using it. And typically, whenever games do add LFG features for whatever reason, I feel like they never get used. So yeah, Fortnite added that. Could be helpful. I think for most people, you're not really going to use it. And that is going to be it for today's update. So we got Darth Vader, we got some map changes, we got some new items, we got some much needed balance changes, and the LFG feature. I think this is a really good update. One of the better updates that we've had in Fortnite in a while. So this being the first major update of Season 3 is really good. A lot of people complained that Season 3 didn't feel like an entirely new season. But I think this update was a good job, and as long as the game gets good, consistent, like weekly or bi-weekly updates, I think Fortnite will be in a really good place. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this update, what changes you're excited for, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.